to extend and provide services to extend the longevity of our products in general. But in case of clothing, there's a lot of emotional value that's attached to this. And if we are able, in our cases with the repair experience, to remind the consumer about the emotional attachment they have to that piece of clothing, and bring this back to the brands, there's a lot of longevity on the relationship that created between consumers and brands.
And brands
that can happen. And an example to this is that this LinkedIn post of someone that repaired a Patagonia jacket, and it went viral as well. Well, it's not about the jacket, right?
No.
It's about the mountain that you climbed. It's about the wedding you went. It's about the experience you never gonna forget, and that clothing was there with you.
Right.
And then you create emotion around it, and we believe that's very valuable to turn it around. So then the brand is providing a possibility for the end consumer to extend their a relationship with the clothing.
Right.
That's really big. We believe that's really big. Patagonia has doing this on a very ad hoc basis, and for years they always repair the clothing. It's their standard for them. They want to repair as much as possible, build a better product, repair as much as possible. And our challenge now to convey other brands with a similar mindset. There are three things they're pushing, right? The first one is the consumer in general. There's wanting to buy more sustainable. There's refusing brands that don't take a clear stance in sustainability. And they're really saying now, I stopped buying fast fashion, for instance. There's a second element, which is inside very big brands, it's just people like you and me. They make the big difference. Employees make a big difference. So the internal way of brands are not moving towards ethical and sustainable practices. Is becoming really challenging to push plans in, to push a new audacious P&L that has no justification besides shareholder return.
Verification, yeah.
And the third is regulation. There's a lot of happening in Europe now with the whole circularity and producer responsibility legislation that is changing very fast.
Right.
So we think that this is a great momentum to talk about clothing repairs and think on a circular approach. And when it's having a shared service, it's something that benefits everybody at the same time.
Absolutely.
So using the blueprint of Patagonia, my proposal to Patagonia was saying, hey, can I make it social? Can I make it to create jobs for people that really need it?
Yeah.
And can I make it shareable? Can I use your model to bring more people? And our goal is really to be able to create a disruption at some point. So,
wonderful. So your objective is not just, it's also about employment. It's also about putting people in. I love that.
Starting point.
Awesome. I love that. And who are you looking to employ? So what are your criteria or characteristics? Are they underprivileged or people from vulnerable communities?
Yeah, we have three focus groups. One is refugees.
Right.
They're for short and long term already sitting in the country. Second are youth with distance to the labor market. And then also people with a disability that also get coverage.
Oh, wonderful.
And they represent by far a way higher unemployment rate than the average Dutch unemployment rate. The refugee has 50 to 60% unemployment rate in the target group, compared to 3% of the Dutch population. So there's a lot that has to happen there.
So that's your starting point. Is that, so if I may ask, is that the reason why you started the business, or is it?
That's the reason, yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. It's really as a social enterprise approach. It's a bit different than just a B Corp.
Yeah.
It's really we have a social problem, which is unemployment. We have an environmental problem, which is tax waste. Can we create a business to solve it? Hand in hand. So our objective is to reach to 1 million kilo of textile per year repaired, and this is 1% of the Dutch textile waste.
Wow.
It's not a lot, but it is a big contribution to the country.
And where are you now?
I'm now at 5,000, 2,500 kilos.
I love that aspiration.
But they have to be ambitious.
Yeah.
And to get to 100 jobs to people, this is a little market, to really be this milestone to show that it's possible to have business. Combining brands, creating a movement of different brands that's also different in the sector. fashion brands or upper brands are always, you don't share the secret.
Yeah.
We are really taking an approach now. We all do this together. It's a movement, and if you're a conscious brand, you're gonna join us. You're gonna do this together.
And do you do this just with fast clothing? Have you got a plan to scale this business with other types of products in the industry? So we're talking electronics. Maybe Philips is one of the biggest, players in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Have you thought about that? I mean, it's probably early.
I hear about this from other sectors. It demands a lot of expertise. So we are my blueprint is focused on clothing. But I have talked to other companies from other sectors and shared a disciplinary approach of this because it's very rich, I think.
Totally.
Yeah, but our plan is it's purely focused on clothing. Yeah, not even footwear, it's only clothing.
Is it fast fashion or clothing?
Clothing.
Right.
I think you have to create a model in which and I'm stimulating the brands to sell more, but I'm stimulating the brands to produce less.
Right.
That's our focus. So if we only partner with brands that clearly have a ambition towards reducing production over time, and see repair as one of the potential ways to facilitate this.
And so if we take a step back, you started this business how long ago?
So Makers Unite is the first one. It started 6 years ago. Started as a foundation, 2 years ago turned into a limited company, own produce clothing, employing refugees. And then 2 years ago we started the discussion with Patagonia and we launched this in July.
Right. I've noticed you've got not just Patagonia clothing down there, it's also...
Yeah, so I have now Patagonia, we have Scotch and Soda, we're starting now in the beginning of January, starting to launch some new brands. Next year there's a big roadmap of brands that we're developing pilots for.
Decathlon is another one?
As well, as well.
And so what are your targets? What do you need to do to get to your milestones? So let's say 1 million, roughly, not that number. What is it that you're aiming to achieve in the next few years?
We're targeting similar size brands as Patagonia.
Okay.
They has a qualitative product, and they have or are about to create a warranty program. And our first focus is outdoor apparel. So imagine brands that are similar size of Patagonia. Or now we're also serving high active wear also as a target audience,
right.
And some fashion brands as well.
Right.
Some denim, Scotch and Soda denim brands, some other fashion brands are also being a part of the program.
Awesome. And how do you get these brands to contribute? So you're currently based in Amsterdam. Do you go and meet with them elsewhere?
Yeah. So there are a lot of brands that. Via Patagonia come to us. It's mostly on a C-level connection that it facilitates. Go a little bit out there, but just starting our whole pipeline, our brands that came to us since the launch. And now our goal is really to, there are 2 ways. One, we do have a prospection of brands that we reach on a cold calling basis.
Right.
It's a long track there. It's mostly for us on the thought leadership role and talking with either from C-level all the way to sustainability matters about what we're doing, and that's more or less our entry into brands.
Love that. And I see you've got a very effective organisation going on here. I'm wondering, how does it work? So some of these items have come in from Dublin. Patagonia's items have been delivered, so there's a Dublin store, presumably a Patagonia Dublin store.
Yeah, it depends on the channel. We can connect to any different channel for brand, from retail to wholesale to direct to the end consumer via e-com. And then we make use of their reverse logistics structure. Always set up our own reverse logistics to bring the items to us, repair, and we send it back to the end consumer.
Right.
Or to the shop, depends on when they deliver.
Right. And you do that for Europe at the moment?
Yeah, we serve now Benelux, DACH and Nordic countries.
Okay.
And our plan is to be able to scale this activity now across Europe in the coming 2 years.
And
a similar setup than what you're seeing.
What about the US, Europe, Middle East,
Africa?
Africa?
No, interesting. The global brands we speak with is usually the European counterpart.
Uh-huh.
So we're not speaking to brands. We do speak brands that they're very big in US, but they have a different direction there. So first, making sure they'll get traction in our program here. And we hear a lot of brands say, why not? We see that there's a lot of things sounds to be easier in the US than here.
Okay.
I can put it this way, yeah.
Right.
Because you have to open each market and set up systems and have different salary scales. Have a salary in Norway and a salary in Portugal, and you have to even out.
Right.
There's a lot of challenge there.
And so the pricing corridors presumably would be quite challenging.
Well, it is and it is not, because you're creating local employment as well and local impact and creating a lot of opportunity locally, and the brands. It is impact that they can book, you know. If you're talking about impact in Bangladesh, what's the relation to the end consumer here? If you're talking about impact in Amsterdam, people that live in Amsterdam.
That's right.
Maybe they're neighbors with the end consumer, you know. It's a totally different story.
And so the warranty program, tell me how that works. So they have to have a warranty program for them to be a target customer?
We have established a warranty program or a repair program.
Right.
It can be the brands that just say, I need a channel for my consumers to be repairing clothing.
Okay.
That's how we do.
So if we wanted to tip other categories, let's say electronics or other consumer goods categories that can be repaired and warranted, that's the starting point. It's to get the manufacturer to start the warranty program, because presumably a lot of these electronic companies already have that. But without that, you can't work with them.
You know, when you were establishing a repair program inside a company and you're talking about repairing and promoting repairs, it is a big challenge to go from scratch. So if you want to tell brands, I want to repair, the usual reactions like, well, but I have to sell.
Yeah. Well, I understand that.
Yeah, but when you create repairs, that means that you're creating
diluting sales.
Yeah, you're basically showing brands that's showing the consumer they have a qualitative product. Yeah. And as in
a durable,
proving that they can believe, and then you enhance and develop the brand over time.
So presumably, this is you have to partner with the right brands. This is your first step.
Yeah.
It's the right values, the right. Future vision.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, correct.
Awesome. And what have been your biggest stumbling blocks to date? What have been your biggest challenges?
Well, for us, it's really the internal. That's a classic. To be service, so the internal decision-making process is a long one. And so our leadway towards new brands is very. Yeah, it's in the starting business. It's really difficult for us. Acquisition is the biggest challenge at the moment.
Right. Okay.
I mean, we have Patagonia, right? And it's something that is really great. But other brands that say now they are Patagonia, I'm not sure if I can do the same. So it's a big challenge for us.
Well, it's a good gold standard, right? A good model of what good looks like, and we need to inspire the art of the possible first. Demonstrate that.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think slowly, because the other brands, it takes time, right? This is not something that can shift overnight. They're still catching up with COVID sales.
Definitely.
And it's going to take 5 or 10 years, right? This is a long game.
Yeah, definitely.
And how do you feel the consumers' mindsets have shifted, particularly in terms of the propensity or receptiveness to your offer?
Well, I think it's a massive growing market. I believe that... especially in clothing, where we see the awareness of the consumer is growing a lot in the last 5 years, I believe. You see, maybe live in a bubble, but so many manifestation protests against Black Friday that happened this year, more than ever again. And never happened. So we see that there's a growing consciousness about the effects of the current state of fashion industry. And we see that there's a lot of understanding of the responsibility of the consumer of choosing better, of refusing to buy more and keeping what they have. And if they do have to buy more, they go for options where more sustainable or second-hand or system systems. repairs in this category is something that is new. The second-hand clothing is something that in the last 10 years growing a lot, and now comes repairs, the new thing, because you don't need to buy anymore because you repair. So that's going. I believe that's a growing trend happening.
I was in a Canada Goose store 2
Yeah.
days ago.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking that sounds like the perfect customer.
Correct. Yeah, except the fur, but.
Oh, do they use real fur?
They do. I'm not sure how they are anymore, but they do have a warranty program, and they are definitely a target.
That feels it because it's a very high-end price point. So
Yeah.
you know, you're looking at 1,200, 1,500 for a coat.
Yeah.
That is something you're not going to want to get rid of once it's had a scratch.
Yeah, correct. So we believe that they fit the target audience in a high end level. But yeah, they are type of product that they have a warranty program is something that really fits with our proposition. But then what we do is that we bring this and create impact, create user engagement, to create relationships with the consumer. It's way beyond repair. So
I love that. And for me, there's something here that you're doing that's not really about the mechanics in here. It's about educating the market about the future and what we could do differently. Do you do talks? Do you go to universities? Do you get involved in the community?
Yeah, it's a big portion of my time, of my work, is having talks on this importance. Advocacy work about repairing, creating chances for people listening to the local market and acting more sustainable. And I think that goes hand in hand what we do in house, right? We have to do and tell.
Totally.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, I'd really like to get a quick tour of the factory, if we could.
Yeah. They're truly there inside our team. They do the check-in and they prepare them for repairs. And then we're going to have a document of this to show how they're going to be repaired and then they set up the production.
So this is, you basically just show where it's going to be repaired and it's just the details. Okay. And then you actually do the pack and send. You do the from here.
Yeah.
So logistics is also a big part of your job.
Definitely, yeah.
That's going to be a big business.
Yeah, definitely. It's something that they have to take out of the hands of the brand.
Right. So they cover that. That's all their costs.
Exactly.
Right. The consumer, well, presumably that's in part of the warranty.
Yeah.
And then from here, this is shipped.
Correct.
This is where we do the good work.
Exactly.
All the craftsmanship.
Correct. And then from here they're shipped.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Love it. And it's such a lovely space as well.
Nice, right?
This is a great space. This is a perfect startup kind of vibe and environment.
Yeah, I hope so.